Hi everyone, and welcome to the WPQuickies series, bite-sized WordPress tips and tricks in 30 minutes or less. Hi, I'm Will Brown, WordPress consultant and educator. I help WordPress designers and developers get more clients and grow their WordPress business. And today I'm going to be talking to you about resetting WordPress websites. But before we do that, just make sure you hit the subscribe button, ding the bell on all the socials that you're on. If you're in Facebook, we have a Facebook group. It's called WordPress Sydney Meetup. So you can continue the conversation. You can ask me some follow-up questions on there if you don't want to ask on the live stream. That's okay. You can join if you're watching from the group, make sure you visit the streamyard.com/Facebook, and that's going to link your avatar, your Facebook avatar, up with StreamYard so I can actually see who's asking questions. Make sure as well that you visit wpaustralia.org so you can see where all the meetups in Australia are happening, and you can also join our Slack channel on there as well. If you're a web developer or designer, if you create and maintain client websites, you might want to have a look at was.com.au. It will help you to add some recurring revenue into your business. And the next monthly in-person meetup for the Sydney meetup is on the last Monday of every month at 6 p.m. So this month it's going to be August the 29th. And I'm going to be talking about compliance and WooCommerce. So if you fancy coming along, it's right next to Wynyard Station in the Microsoft Reactor Lab. Come and meet some people, network, maybe eat some pizza as well. So it's always good to get together in person. Lastly, always looking for suggestions about what topics to do next. I'll copy the link down in the comments below. There we go. So you can suggest some more topics. That would be great. I can queue them up for the end of the year. Who have we got online? We've got Elizabeth Waters. Hey, Elizabeth. How you doing? Online, we've got a few other people as well. Let me know who you are, where you're coming from in the comments, and I'll give you a shout out for that. Let's make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Boom, that's better. Okay, so let's get into today's WP Quickies. So have you ever been in a situation where your WordPress website is so full of junk, you just wanted to push a big reset button, clear out everything, and start again? Well, resetting WordPress back to its default installation is pretty simple with the help of a couple of plugins and a couple of tools, and I'm going to show you how to do that in this WP Quickies. Okay, so a WordPress reset, what is it? It takes your site back to the initial installation state. So rather than having to delete everything, drop the database, all that manually, it's basically a quick way of resetting everything, get rid of your content, get rid of your posts, things like that. So only one active theme, no plugins installed or activated, no posts, pages, post meta, comments, taxonomies, media, no custom database tables, a blank slate for you to start off with. So that's what we all like to do every so often. So when would you need a WordPress reset? Well, there's several situations where you might need to reset your WordPress website back to its initial state. So for example, if you use the same website for demos, and I do that very frequently, so I use the same demo site regularly for these WP Quickies, so I can demonstrate things, plugins, how things work, all that sort of stuff. And I often perform a WordPress reset just to clean out all the previous content, all the plugins, all the data, all the junk and stuff that gets installed. So I've got a blank slate where I can apply new demos on other WP Quickies. So that is one scenario if you're running like a demo that you use continually. Another situation might be if you have a single development site that you want to reuse for each project. Now, a lot of people don't work on local. A lot of people have, a shared hosting plan, and they might have WordPress installed in a subdirectory, and that's the one that they use for development of client projects. So this is a quick way, resetting it is a quick way. Once you're done, once you finish the project, once it's delivered, just to reset your project site back to the basic WordPress installation. Another reason is your website might be infected by malware, and this is probably one of the largest, I'll say the biggest reason I've used a WordPress Reset plugin in the past, or tools, is that when your WordPress website gets infected with malware, really the best thing, really the only thing to do is to completely eradicate it and build it up from scratch. And using the WordPress Reset can really kind of fast track that action. And another last reason is you might want to do a complete website rebuild from scratch. So you're not bothered about anything that's there. You want to wipe it all off and just start again. So those are some common reasons why you might need to perform a WordPress reset. But of course, you want to make sure that you are backing up first. So make sure if whenever you're contemplating changing your WordPress website in a radical way, please ensure that you take a complete backup and make sure that you download the backup to your local machine and check its integrity file as well. There's no good just relying on a backup being there and then you download it one day and it doesn't work. Always check that it works as well. Now, I got a blog post about the best WordPress backup plugins, a couple of years old, but no other players have came onto the market, so it still stands. Yeah, you can see that. I've got the link there on the screen, and I'll just copy the link in the comments for you as well. So you can have a look at that. It really is no excuse not to do any backups for your website. So make sure you do backups first before you hit the reset button. Okay, so the easiest way to reset your WordPress's original state is to use the WP Reset plugin. There's a couple of plugins that come up if you type WordPress Reset or WordPress up in the WordPress.org repository. There's a couple that come up. This one is my favorite. The other one works as well, but I've been using this one, so I kind of stick to the things that I know. So this one is WordPress.org/plugins, and it's WP Reset plugin. I'll just copy the link in the comments below. Give it access to that. Now, once installed and activated, you want to navigate to your tools section in WordPress. And this is where the plugin has its admin pages. So navigate to tools and then WP Reset. Now, there are many options in WP Reset. The user interface could do with a little bit of love. And there's also 3 versions of the plugin. There's an options reset, which is a paid version, and that just resets options like plugin options and theme options. So it doesn't touch your core posts and pages and things like that. There's the free version, which is what we're going to be using today, and that's called Site Reset, and that's the middle column there. And then there's a Nuclear Reset Pro. I love that name, Nuclear Reset, and that's a paid option as well. And you can see that it deletes a lot more stuff than what the normal free one does. Okay, so there's the table there. It shows all the features of each plugin version. I say the free one is in the middle. Now, the free reset plugin, it doesn't physically delete server media files. It doesn't delete plugin files. It doesn't delete theme files. It disables them. So it removes their entries from the database. So it looks like they're not there or they're not activated. But, the physical files are still there for those. It also doesn't remove non-WordPress core database tables. So third-party database tables. If you want to do this all in one go, then you're going to need to upgrade to the Nuclear Reset, the Pro plugin, to do that in kind of one single go. However, the free version, the Site Reset, comes with plugin tools. It comes with some tools. We'll have a look at those a little bit. The free tools that you can remove all these files. You don't need to purchase the Nuclear Reset. You can do all this stuff with the free version. It just takes 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 separate clicks to do it all. Okay, so let's have a look at how this works. To reset your WordPress site, once you're in the admin views, then scroll down to the Reset tab and then to the Site Reset box. Now, there's lots of different boxes on this Reset tab, but scroll down, you'll see the one that says Site Reset for those. Now, there's 3 options available. By default, the Reactivate WP Reset plugin is checked and the others are not. But you have the option to reactivate your current theme or reactivate all the currently active plugins for those. So if it's you've got a couple of options in the way that you go about resetting WordPress. So if you've got a ton of plugins that you're going to go back and check and enable anyway, then you might as well just go and reactivate those for those. And you might want to reactivate your current theme rather than like having a 2020 something theme there. And so all you basically do is check your options and then type reset into the input box and then click on the Reset Site red button. It takes a minute, couple of minutes, maybe. It depends on how many plugins and themes and stuff is around. But take like maybe about a minute, maybe 30 seconds, and then you'll see the WordPress About page. So just like you were installing a new WordPress installation, the About page pops up once it's done, and that's it. That's the site reset from a WordPress point of view for those. But there's some few things you need to do. Of course, this is the free version. It's not the Nuclear version, so it doesn't delete all those physical files that I mentioned before. So those physical files, they're still on the server. So if you want to do a complete reset, a proper reset by deleting them, there's a few things you need to do after you've done that initial reset. So if you want to delete the server's media library, the plugin files, the theme files, all that sort of stuff, you need to navigate to the Tools tab. This is still within the free version for here. And you can see at the top, there are some excellent tools that you can do. Reset theme options, you can purge cache, all that stuff. There's a few pro things that you can't do with the free version, but for the most part, when we're going to clean 99% of this, this WordPress website, then we can do it from here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is go down to, scroll down that box and go to the Clean Uploads folder box. Now, this one here is going to clean out all the stuff that's in your uploads, and that includes all your media files. It includes like things that plugins might install as well. And this, again, make sure you also have a backup because it's going to zap everything. So it's fairly easy to do. Just navigate down to that box, read the warnings in there. It tells you, there's a no undo. You can't undo this. Make sure that, this is what you want to do, and then just click on that, delete all files and folders and uploads folder, and that just zaps everything. So at the end of that, you've got a /uploads and it's completely blank. So that's the best way of removing all the physical files in your uploads folder from within the plugin. Then there's also the delete themes and plugins. For those, you want to, if you're completely new in this, if you're resetting the site completely, you want to get rid of all your themes, you want to get rid of all your plugins for those, and this plugin allows you to do that. So scroll down, same page, scroll down to these two boxes and they're right together. There's a delete themes and then there's a delete plugins. And the interface is exactly the same for the previous, the uploads. You just click on the buttons there. Now, this might take a few minutes. It depends on, it seems that the previous one with the uploads, it might take a few minutes. Depends on how many files are bundled together in your plugins, in your uploads, and your themes. So when you click on these buttons, you might get a little bit of a scroller for a few minutes. If you have the previous one, if you've been uploading for several years, which you probably haven't done if you're doing use a reset, but if you've got heaps of files in there, it's going to also take longer to delete all those physical files the more that you have. Okay, the next one here is empty or delete custom tables, and this is the last thing that we are going to do for those. So we scroll down to this box here, empty or delete custom tables. You've got two options here. You can either empty the custom tables, which basically clears all the data out but leaves the tables in the database, or you can drop them, and drop is the kind of database SQL term functionality for zapping the table. So if you want to get rid of everything completely, then use the delete, the drop custom tables, and then that'll take a few seconds, and then your database is nice and clean, and all you've got in there is the WP, the WordPress core tables in there. So by doing all these actions, so we've cleaned up, we've reset WordPress. We've then went in, we've cleaned out the uploads folder. We've then cleaned out the themes and plugins for those, and then we've deleted all the custom tables. So after this, you're going to get a 99% pretty much vanilla install for WordPress for those. And you can do some of the other options as well. You can purge cache and do all that sort of fancy stuff. But doing these actions here is going to bring your site pretty much back to a default installation, just saving you the time and effort having to reinstall WordPress and go through the site, the title tag and title and the tag, and reinstall it all again. But there is another way of doing that. So that was the plugin way, and it's fairly easy for beginners to follow that process, go through those little clicks and reset WordPress. But there's another way to do that as well. You can do this using a WordPress command line interface, or WPCLI. Now this is a command line interface for WordPress, so it's used on servers. So if you are logging into a servers like a secure shell SSH session, and you want to manipulate WordPress on the command line, you can use WP-CLI to completely reset your website, and it only takes a matter of seconds to type in the commands. Again, if you're deleting files, it takes a little bit longer the more files you have, but it's generally quicker on the command line anyway, because you're not going through the graphical interface and having to batch stuff. It's completely operating system, so it's going to be super quick doing this. Now, you can use many of the WordPress core functions from the command line once you've got WP CLI installed. That's the website there. You can go and have a read on it, how you can install that for those. And so a lot of the WordPress core functions, including resetting or emptying the WordPress site of its posts, comments, terms, meta, and all that sort of stuff. So here we go. Here are the entries that you want to use. So you've SSH'd into the server. You're in the root folder of the WordPress website. You've got WP CLI installed, and you can simply type WP space site space empty, and that's going to reset your WordPress website. It's going to delete posts, comments, terms, meta, all that sort of stuff, which is good. It will prompt you, that's that very first line, it will prompt you to say, are you sure you want to do this? And you can also press yes or no. If you know you want to do this, then the second line there, so WP site empty -- yes, that tells WP CLI that you definitely want to do that, and it won't prompt you. If you want to delete the uploads as well, WP CLI supports that. So that's the third line there. So these are all the same command. I'm just showing you all the different options that you can use with it. So the third line, the middle line there, WP space site space empty. We've got -- yes to get rid of the prompt. And then we've got -- uploads. And that tells that command to zap the uploads folder as well. And that's going to be super fast. It's going to be a lot faster than doing it through the graphical interface because you're on the command line, you're at the server level. So it's going to be super fast for that. And then if we want to follow the same process that we use with the plugin, if we want to delete plugin and theme files as well to make sure everything's gone, then there's a couple of commands for those, and those are the last two commands here. So WP space plugin space delete, and again -- all. Otherwise, it will be expecting a plugin name, and then that's going to zap all plugins from the site. And similarly with your theme, so WP space theme space delete -- all. And that's going to delete all the themes. So if you discard the top two lines there, it's basically three line entries. It's going to do exactly the same as what we did in the plugin for that. And it's super, super easy to do. So if you're interested in doing that, I'd have a look at the WP CLI website. Maybe get it installed on your server or ask your hosting company if you can install it on the server. It's really, really super quick and a great way of learning something a little bit different within the WordPress ecosphere as well. Okay, so resetting WordPress doesn't need to be a time-consuming or manual effort. Using the plugin or WP CLI can really speed up your WordPress site reset. That's it for today. If you've got any questions, you can drop them in the comments at the side, and I'll see if I can answer any of those questions that you've got about WordPress resets, about the plugin, maybe about WP CLI as well. I have queued up a quickies for WP CLI. So I've put that on, I think it's the end of October. So if you're looking to learn a little bit more about what WP CLI is and what it can do, I've queued up a quickies for that later on in the year. We've got Janie Barron. It's Joe here. Hey, Joe. How you doing? Thanks for dropping in. If there's no questions, that's okay. You can connect with me. Happy to connect all the time with you guys. I'm mostly on LinkedIn these days under Will Brown EU, sometimes on Instagram, sometimes on Twitter as well. But please visit my willbrown.com website as well. It's a new website, relatively new. I'm kind of booting up content and kind of planning more content to push in the next couple of months. So please keep an eye on that. There's no questions coming in. That's okay. No problems at all. Let's see. Next week, on WP Quickies, I'm going to be talking about WordPress Slugs. Now, slugs are the unique URL that's given to WordPress posts, and we kind of take it for granted that they're there all the time. But I'm going to show you exactly how WordPress uses slugs, how it generates slugs, how you can maybe generate your own slugs, and kind of best practices as to what to put into your slugs. Because I see sometimes people's URLs and it's just crazy. You know, it's like 5,000 letters or words. It's like a story. So we'll have a look at WordPress slugs next week on WP Quickies. Thank you very much for watching. Take care and see you everyone next week.